Have you ever noticed how sometimes, just as you're about to take that next step, something unexpected gets in the way? You step out in faith towards something the Lord has put on your heart, maybe a new opportunity at work, a long-awaited transition for your family, or that business you've been thinking about for years. But instead of open doors, you run into some resistance. It almost feels like you're stepping up to cross a river, only to find the waters rising higher. If that's you today, I want to bring you to this story in Joshua 3. The people of Israel were standing on the brink of what was likely the biggest transition of their lives. After 40 long years of wandering, they were finally about to step into the Promised Land. But first, they had to cross the River Jordan. And of all the times the Lord could have chosen, He led them to the river during flood season, when it was overflowing its banks. From a natural standpoint, it was the worst possible time to cross. And yet, that's the exact moment in time the Lord chose. Have you ever wondered why? Why does the Lord allow us to face obstacles at what feels like the worst possible time, just as we're about to move forward? I believe that many times these seemingly contrary circumstances are the Lord's way of lovingly orchestrating a pause, right when we need it most. When things are going smoothly, our human tendency can be to go full steam ahead. We make plans, push toward our goals, and sometimes even stop seeking the Lord. But that's when we're most vulnerable to making costly mistakes. We may step outside of His timing or walk down paths He never meant for us to take. And before we know it, we can find ourselves shipwrecked, burnt out, and wondering how we even got there. That's not the Lord's heart for you. He doesn't want you to be overwhelmed by stress, sorrow, or the weight of having to hold it all together on your own. His heart is for you to be led by Him and to walk in His paths of peace. That's why out of love, He sometimes allows us to face what feels like a setback. So we'll turn our gaze back to Him and let Him take the lead. That's what I believe He was doing for His people at the River Jordan. When the people were afraid, the Lord told Joshua to tell them, "You have not passed this way before." Josh chapter 3:4. In other words, He was saying, you don't know what's ahead. You've never walked this path before, so wait for my presence. When you see the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant into the river, follow it. Wait, then follow. That takes humility. That takes trust. But that's also the safest and surest way forward. And what happened when they did? The moment the priests stepped into the water, the Lord caused the river to roll back all the way to a city called Adam. A clear path opened up before them, and the people walked through on dry ground. What had looked like a barrier suddenly became a testimony of the Lord's faithfulness. Maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe you're standing at the edge of something new, but the conditions don't look ideal. Or maybe you're facing an obstacle and the way forward isn't clear. I want you to hear His promise over your life today. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not